en welkom bij de nieuwe videoserie van het VPRO Medialab, Veldwerk. In Veldwerk verrichten we veldonderzoek naar nieuwe manieren van verhalen vertellen. Van interactieve documentaires tot apps, scrollstrips, sociaal virtual reality experimenten, van alles. We beginnen de serie met Pry, een app voor je iPhone of iPad. En Pry is het verhaal over oorlogsveteraan James uit de Golfoorlog. De app biedt je de mogelijkheid om door de ogen van James te kijken. Dus door met je vingers open te sperren, sper je ook zijn ogen open. Als je ze dichtknijpt, krijg je zijn gedachten. En als je nog verder dichtknijpt, zie je ook zijn herinneringen aan zijn leven in de Golfoorlog. Die 3 verhalen, dus door zijn ogen, in zijn hoofd en in zijn herinneringen, die lopen parallel. Dus je moet steeds kiezen welke variant, welk level van het verhaal je gebruikt. Ik spreek met de maakster Samantha Gorman van Tenderclaws en vraag haar hoe ze dit heeft gemaakt en of ze het ook zou aanraden aan jou als mediamaker. Could you explain what pry means?
The title pry comes from the idea of trying to get information from somebody, and it also means to pry open, to pull apart. So it works on several levels, and in the story, the reader is using the pinch gesture of the iPad to literally open the character's eyes. And when they do that, they see the character's outside world and they let go and it goes back to the character's thoughts. So they see like the character's thoughts in text for anything they see in the outside world. And there's a third layer where you can do the inverse of the pinch gesture and it goes to a more like subconscious space. But it also is kind of looking at the psychology of the character and like kind of, you know, going into their innermost thoughts, getting information from an unreliable narrator. So those are the 2 ways that the title works.
Why did you choose for a story about a veteran?
I was thinking about what it means to have memory that's not entirely sound, and things about relations between your people in your past and people in your present. We were living in an area of the country that was known for active military presence, so that was something that was always in our minds. And then I started researching some aspects of American history that I remembered from being very young. You know, thinking about that part in history and interest in it. Yeah.
More than 35 countries are giving crucial support from the use of naval.
The battle has been joined.
To help with
And what kind of features made it extraordinary or different from existing platforms or ways of storytelling?
The story is it is based on kind of our research, and it is a young man in the 90s who returned home, and it's about like 6 years afterwards, and there's a sort of you're not sure which part of his memories of the war and of his present day are kind of, you know, real or not, but he's losing sight over time. It relates to an interface we have in one of the chapters, which is like this Bible in Braille that he inherited. And you can swipe your finger along the Braille, but if you swipe it very fast, the language he's sounding out is less broken, and it's like a straight sentence. Or slowly, you get a different sort of video or images for like past memories.
Grasping Esau's heel with his hand.
So we do a lot of interplay with videos and text in that sort of way.
Yeah, and how did you prepare this kind of crazy creative process? How did you make a storyboard, or how did this evolve?
What happens usually is we'll discuss a concept and then I'll go off and maybe do some free writing or think on it, and, you know, he might do some art. We'll come back together, and it's sort of a more natural process of how it generates, with a lot of iteration and back and forth, than starting with a script or starting with like, this is like the design and then we're going to make it. Because we don't find that ever really works. So many new things that come up along the way that you have to kind of change the design or rethink how you were originally going to do it.
And I think there's a lot of potential for horror stories, because you cannot be at 2 places at the same time, which makes it really exciting, I think. What would you say to people who see this video and think, okay, maybe I want to do my story this way?
The first thing I recommend is to basically like learn all you can about what's out there. And then I would say figure out like the general idea of what you want to kind of do. And it helps to like teach yourself a little bit of code. And even if you just do like, online classes to get the general idea of what that means so that you can judge how difficult it might be to do something. But if you decide it's too difficult to do it on your own and you need to find somebody, knowing a little bit of code can help you communicate with them, if that makes sense.
That's a good advice. It's very inspirational. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.